Hello and welcome to this lecture on filtering records using string comparison. String is also referred to as text. So in this lecture, we'll be learning how to use string comparison, and we'll be using things like the like operator, the not like operator. We're going to use the like operator in combination with wildcards. The wildcards we'll be using here are the % and the underscore. So we'll be using these comparisons with the where clause to filter records from a database table. I have got SQL Server Management Studio opened, and on the left I've got my Object Explorer. So the database we will be using for this illustration will be the AdventureWorks 2014. So this is the AdventureWorks 2014 database. So we're going to click on the New Query tab, and this is where we will write our T-SQL query. Make sure you've got the right database. The database we want is the AdventureWorks. So we need to select it from the database drop-down list and make sure that's selected. Alternatively, we could select it by using the use keyword followed by the name of the database and then a semicolon and then the word go. I usually like this in uppercase. I just bring that there a bit. Okay, and then we can begin the query. So the table I want to look at is from the human resources schema, which is the employee table, this table here. So let's see what's inside the table. So do a select star. Star means I bring in all the columns. I want the query to return all the columns and all the records from this table. From is where you specify the name of the table, and then the schema. This is the schema first, and then if you put a dot, it gives you a list of the tables. So that's the table I want, and semicolon to end it. So I'll just highlight, execute. So this is the entire columns and records from this employee table. But I'm going to use a filter to restrict what is returned from this table. To save a bit of time, I have written the script already. So the script I've written to filter the records are from line 8 to 11. On line 8, I've specified the columns I want in the select keyword option. If you notice, I've not selected every column, unlike the previous query. I've selected two columns, the login ID and the job title. From is where this from here is where you will specify the schema followed by the table. So the schema and the table is separated with a dot. This is the schema, human resources. The table is called employee. Line 10 is where I have applied a filter. The filter I've applied is that the condition is that the job title is going to be like, I've filtered this so that it will return any records where the job title has manager of some kind in there. So anyone returning the query must be a manager. The like operator is used with the where clause. So it's used to search for a specified pattern in a column. So if we look for the job title here, so it's going to search for a pattern, and the pattern is going to search for must have a manager in there. So we look for anything that's got manager in there and pick out that pattern. All right, so we got lots of job titles, but what it will be looking for is where the job title has got a manager in it. And when you use the like operator, you can't use it alone. You have to use it with a wildcard. The wildcard I've used here is the %. So what this % does, it's a substitute for a 0 or more characters. So we look for 0 or more characters on either side. So if you place a % on both sides, it will search for the pattern on both sides. So anything that's got manager in front or manager towards the end. So the % is a wildcard that's used with the like operator. So the purpose of the % is to substitute the 0 or more characters. So that's what that % is there for. So if I execute this, it will return everything from the job title that has the title manager in there. So let's run that. So you can see all these are is returned 17 rows, and every one of them has a job title with a manager inside. You got manager, research and dev manager, and so on. So this is how you would use the like operator in combination with the % wildcard. In the next query example, we are going to filter using the where clause and the underscore character. So the underscore character is a wildcard that is used to substitute a single character. So it only substitutes a single character. So it will look for a pattern where this underscore here represents a single character, and the last 3 digits will be ARY. So for example, it could be Mary, Gary, but it's got to be anything that ends with ARY. So if we look at the first name, let's scroll to where the first names are. So job title, let's look for the first name and then we'll see what we mean. The schema I am using for this example is the person schema and the person table. All right, so I'm using person schema and the person table, and the filter is on line 15, which is the where clause and the like operator in combination with the underscore wildcard. This underscore represents a single character. So what this is saying, so these are the first name column. So it will look for a pattern that ends in ARY. For example, let's scroll through. You can see there might be a Gary or a Mary, but it's got to end in ARY. That's what that means. It could be a Parry, anyone, this letter, it will substitute any single character, provided it ends in ARY. So let's execute that, and you see what I mean. Okay, you see that? So this is the output. It's returned 74 rows or records. So there's a Mary there, first name, Mary, Gary, and so on. Mary, Gary. You can see all that, Mary, Gary. So it will only return records that match the last 3 characters of ARY, and this underscore represents a single character. Okay, so in this case, Gary there will substitute this underscore, and the M here for Mary, we substitute this underscore. So this is how you would use the like operator in combination with the underscore wildcard. We can also use the not like operator by typing not there. The not like operator is the opposite of the like operator. So what this will do, it will look for a pattern that is not like this. So if I execute this query now, it will give me a different output here, because it will exclude anyone whose first name does not look like this. Okay, so it's going to remove anyone's name. So it will remove the Garys and the Marys from this output. So let's run that. You can see this is it's returned. It was returned lots of rows here, but you would not find anyone with Gary or Mary in this list. Okay, so that's how you use the not like, is the opposite of the like. In this lecture, we learned how to filter records using string comparison. So we were able to filter records using the like operator in combination with the wildcards, the % wildcard, and the underscore wildcard. We also use the not like operator, which works in an opposite way to the like operator. Thank you so much for your time.